we're going to give a proper applause.
Please don't.
Too much.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm
course.
so honored. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're excited.
You already told us we're funny, so we already love you.
Yes.
Top guest already.
It's easy here.
I love it.
Before we get into this episode, I will have to remind the people, because y'all don't like to share shit. So here I am to remind you, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. That was the old one.
I love it. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
I would like for you to introduce yourself, and I would like for you to explain what is in this cup that's going to give me energy. That's already giving me energy.
Yes, right? So I'm Robin Mercado from South Philadelphia, just hanging out. In this cup, we have some Ningxia Red, which is an amazing antioxidant drink. Ningxia Red and coconut water and like LaCroix and essential oils and all of the things to make us feel good from the inside out.
Yes.
So
Self-care Sunday in a cup.
okay.
Yeah. We don't always have to drink margaritas.
Right? I think we low-key alcoholics, but sometimes we
take
don't
care of ourselves.
Right, there you go. So this is our little mocktail.
It's very good.
Good. I really like it.
And
yes.
I'm picky, so if I'm saying it's good, believe me, because I'm picky. I'll be like, this is trash. I don't want this. Why'd you bring this to me? But it's good. And I'm like, I just feel like I'm going to do so many things today.
Right. It makes you feel good. It's good for your immune system, your skin, your hair, like all the organs, all the things.
Yeah,
so.
Everything.
And we
love
need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah, right. I feel you. After all those marks.
Right. Now you have to you have to schedule yourself into our schedule.
Right.
So you can make sure we have something non-alcoholic in our system. All right, you want to get into it, Joss? Did you have questions?
So, I mean,
A little girl chat?
we've told the people several times that we are child-free by choice.
And it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
We like to think so.
to
but
think
there are
so.
moments where like we get our baby fix from like our nieces and nephews, our friends. So Robin, single mother.
Yes.
Beautiful babies.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I've met one of them. He's adorable. He's adorable.
you.
He's the sweetest little kid when you've come into the studios, and he just hangs out with us.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to talk to you about your experience as being a mom, all the things that we want to know about.
Yeah.
But we're okay with just knowing them by proxy.
Yeah, that's
That part,
okay.
yes.
That is okay. And I have to say, seriously, that is such a beautiful thing. And I know you guys have probably talked about it like more in depth, but you know, that can be such a weird societal thing when it comes to like, I'm a woman and I'm not having kids because I don't fucking want to.
Right. It's quite simple.
Yes, and I think it's just so beautiful to kind of just be like, fuck society's expectations. I'm going to do me, for me, by me.
Yep.
And I love it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But yeah, single mama, 3 kids, 3-year-old twins.
Busy.
Yes, oh God. And my son just turned 1 on Thursday. So
Yeah, and he had the cutest little first birthday party.
Yes.
Please tell us what the theme was.
It was a biggie theme.
Yes.
Notorious
It's
one.
all right. It's
Yeah.
all right. It's all
He
right.
was
I love
swagged
that.
out. It was
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah, it was a really, really good time.
I love that so much.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's perfect. That's like a perfect theme.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I had to do it big.
Pun intended.
Yeah, right? There you go. I didn't even put the two together. But yeah, single mama. I got divorced, officially divorced in December. So,
Okay.
you know, we're 6 months running like legally with the paperwork. But it was, I mean, 9 months, almost a year in the making prior to that. And then realistically, in a relationship, it was like coming for a long time even before that. So I was a military spouse for like 6 years. You know, met my kid's dad here, got married, he joined the Navy, whatever. So we were traveling all over like Virginia Beach, Florida, all that stuff. And then by the time the divorce came around, I was like, I am out. And I never thought that I would like long to come back to the city. It was always that one that like ran away from home.
Out of here.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need this shit. This, all of the nonsense that comes with being in Philadelphia and all that, whatever. So I ran away practically. And then everything came crashing down. So lovely.
Hello, life.
Yes, right? Hello.
Hello, life.
On a silver platter.
Right.
And I never wanted to be here more. And I feel it's just it was so full circle. Like I feel at home and at peace and just so happy to be here, which is wild because I never thought I would say that.
Yeah,
So.
no.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny because we, you grow up born and raised.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need to get out. I need to experience.
Yes.
I need to get out, even if it's like to the next state or like to another whatever. And then you realize like how much it feels like home. And
Yes.
when you
Oh my
God,
come
yeah.
back to it, it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is home.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I think there's only a couple cities that people feel like that. And like Philadelphia is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I think so too.
You couldn't have told me that I would have missed Philly. Like when I went to Atlanta for a couple months, and I'm like, get the I like you.
Right.
I'm the fuck out of here. There's nothing here in this city.
Shit. Yeah.
2 weeks into Atlanta, oh my God, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go home. I want to be able to walk to the corner store. Like just these like little things that you take advantage of when you live in the city. You're a city girl.
Yeah.
And then you
absolutely.
go somewhere else. You're like, what the?
Yes.
Even just like the niceties of the South, like don't good morning me. I don't want to talk. I'm used to people being rude in the morning.
Right,
We walk
for
by
real.
each other. We don't make eye contact.
Yes.
We do not speak.
Full stank
That's
face.
it,
Exactly.
exactly.
Headphones are in.
Right.
No,
I
don't talk to me.
I don't want you to
Yeah.
talk to me like a whole thing. Where in the
Right.
South it's like, well, good morning, baby. Good morning. I have to be nice. Just love these little things that you don't think of.
Yeah, for real. I went to Australia. I went to like
Beautiful.
Asia and all of these different things, like traveling all over. And I thought in my mind, I was like, not that I'm too good for the city, but like so many people I knew weren't about that life. They weren't about like, let's go experience the world and culture and, learn ourselves some things and all that stuff. So I think that was part of the mentality too. And then growing up, there's traumas involved and all that stuff. So I was like, sure.
I'm gonna think about her.
And now I'm like, take me back.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's like now it's home. Now it's like your home safe space, and you probably would have never thought of it that way.
It's so wild. So wild. So yeah.
Yeah.
Here
You
I am.
said you touched on something when you were talking about your divorce and everything that just it sparked the memory because I had a girlfriend reach out to me this last weekend asking me when I started dating. So I was in a 14-year relationship, got out of that relationship, casually dated for a very short time because it was it was smack in the middle of the pandemic,
Right.
And then I got into right, exactly.
Probably a good thing. I'm just
You
saying.
know what? It probably was because
Right.
I still have not quite had my whole phase.
Yeah.
And I feel like the pandemic saved me from
Right?
that. Like, no,
Yes.
you're for the sheets, not for the streets.
Right? Okay.
Like,
Yes.
So-
Can we circle back to that? Let's circle back to that because I think that's important to touch on.
It is.
Okay.
So I broke up with my then fiance in August of 2020 and then got into my new relationship in November of 2021. So I said a little bit over a year.
Okay.
And she was like, okay, because I feel like I'm ready. And I was like, well, if you feel like you're ready, then you're ready. Nobody's going to be able to give you a number. But she said the same thing that I have said, that you have also said. You break up with them when you're with, like mentally.
Oh, yes,
That
absolutely.
that happens 6 months before you even told him this ain't going to work.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think when you get out of those relationships and people see you dating, they're like, so already? I broke up with him a year ago mentally.
Right.
Leave me alone, mind your business.
Yes, absolutely. And that's really tough because society, I mean, especially with women, and then especially as a mother, you need to sit down and you need to go be a mom. But we can wear so many hats, and that's one thing that I have really...
Like, just because you're a mom, you don't just belong in a mom box and you can't do anything else.
Right. And we really shouldn't because, I mean, the burnout is crazy. Like, it's a cliche for a reason. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And one of the cups that we need filled, besides our friendships and other relationships and potentially work and all of these different things, and our children, are to be the divine feminine beings that we are, and to embrace our sensuality and to love on someone and get poured into by someone else as well, So, and for so long in my mind, I was like, all right, till the kids are 18, it's just me and them, and that's the way it's going to be. And man, did this experience just really expand all of that. But you're right, like, you can check out of a relationship so much, you know, earlier on than when you actually say, all right, I'm done. Like, it unravels. It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight.
You know? And so whether you... I don't necessarily think it's totally healthy to get into a relationship the very next day, but...
Correct.
I mean,
agree.
some people, you know, no judgment, but some people are like halfway in the new relationship by the time the paperwork is signed by the judge. You know what I mean? Like, that judge's signature or that text message that says, all right, let me just get those last couple spoons from the, you know, from the kitchen. There's not as much significance as, like, society wants to put on that.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So,
yeah. And I can say, put a finger down if that was you. I was halfway into, like, a new relationship before, like, the nail on the coffin was, like, done.
Right.
Physically. But in my mind, like, we were done. Like,
there was single, honey.
I was single. I was living by myself the whole time, so there was nobody there. There were no financial, like, you know, sharing of anything. There were no kids. There were no dogs. There was no cat. There was no
cats to split custody.
business. Like, nothing. It was mentally,
you go
like,
your way, I go mine.
Yeah, like, physically, right? Intimate. We hadn't been together in over a year, so, like, I know I'm done. I just needed that next step. So we were already, like I said, like you mentioned, halfway into another one, because I knew a year ago already, like, this isn't it. So I'm either gonna be by myself or let's see what happens.
Right.
And, like, then the unexpected, aka Kyle, happened, and you know, happiness had.
And Kyle started off as a friend. That was very much a friendship.
Yes.
So it was like you had your foot into a friendship while you were leaving that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now Kyle's still the MVP.
I love it. Yeah, everybody's transition, like, in and out of relationships is so different, and we have to stop putting everything, let alone relationship dynamics, into a box like that.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of times we do it to ourselves too, in our own heads, and you know, it's just, as soon as I, like, broke free from the bullshit expectations I had for myself and how this process or life in general was supposed to look, that freedom, that peace that comes with that is amazing.
You can't put a timeline or a value, or that is priceless.
Yeah.
Like, once you get that.
When you have that light bulb moment, like, because, like, what you just said, we put these expectations on ourselves. I made this checklist of, I have to do this and I got to do this and blah blah blah. Okay, and this all fits into my perfect picture that I created, not even society, that I just created in my head, and now I got to live up to that.
Yep.
Right.
Well, this no longer serves me, so I'm done, and now I have a new plan. That's just what it is. Like, that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of being a woman in this day and age, is you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
It's not back in the day. We have to have, you know, this spouse that live in this neighborhood and have this job. Like, fuck that. What makes you happy? Do that.
Yes.
That's
absolutely.
it. Like, that's just what it comes down to.
And sometimes it takes situations like this to figure out, well, what does make me happy?
Right, because you don't know. You thought you knew.
Right. Oh, yeah, you absolutely did. And I think it comes, you know, however it happens, whether it's our childhood or other life experiences, like, we think we know what we want, especially in our 20s. Them 20s.
I was dumb.
Dumb as hell. Dumb as hell.
I want to go back and talk to her.
I know, right? I do every day.
I have choice words for her.
Right. I have conversations. I journal that shit out, man. I tell her what the fuck is up.
The journaling is
right.
That's some therapy right there.
It is. But, you know, like, we sort of decide, like, what we think we want and create these expectations for ourselves. And I know I definitely did that in getting married to begin with. You know, I knew all the things that I didn't want. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the exact opposite of that? Like, I came from a long lineage of single moms, struggling single moms. I was very, very poor growing up. Like, you know, we opened that oven and that was our heat whenever, you know, we ran out of wherever the funds came from. I don't know. Government assistance, all the things. So I was terrified of that life. Never even thought I was going to get married, to be honest. Never really considered having kids. Not that I didn't want to, but, like, it just wasn't on my mind because I wasn't
on your list of things to do.
Yeah. And so, you know, I got married, and yes, I loved him. I cared for him, all of those things. But we also definitely got married because it was like the next thing to do.
Like, what's next?
It was almost like a security for the both of us. Like, we're helping each other out.
Okay.
And it just so happens, we like each other. You know what I mean?
This
like,
might work.
Yeah, right? It did not. So, so especially, coming out of the divorce and as things like that happen. Well, backtracking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get married before I have kids, and then I'll have kids, and if we decide that we don't like each other anymore, we'll just stay together and just keep our mouths shut because we need to raise these children. And
can you please talk about staying together for the children and how that's complete bullshit, please?
Oh my God, please. Do we have enough time today?
We have all the time in the world.
I also used to listen to, I'm very big into growth and self-help and all of the things, and I always have been. I always want to be a better human every single day. And one of the people that I found in my sort of growth journey was a woman named Dr. Laura, and she had like a talk show, and she was a therapist and all these things. She was on Sirius XM. I think she still is. And no shade, Dr. Laura, no shade, but she had very traditional views of things, which I found myself very much in alignment with. And to be honest, I still do in a way. Like, I teeter-totter on like far feminist kind of ideas. I'm like a little bit more on this side of things when it comes to like relationship dynamics. But because of that, reading her books, it's like you stay together. You always have to be your husband's girlfriend. Like, don't you forget you always have to be your husband's girlfriend. And when it comes to sex, like there's no reason you shouldn't be having sex with your husband. Like, don't you want to orgasm? And it's like, okay, well, he just pissed me to fuck off this morning, not by him. Like, you know what I mean?
And I still gotta be the girlfriend?
Right. And I still, yes, right? And so many different things that she kind of talked about that was like very traditional, one-track minded. And so I had this in my head. And in the relationship, I was constantly like, I need to do better as the wife. To fix this, to make this work, I constantly have to do better. That wasn't the reality because it was not reciprocated at all.
I was just going to say,
it's one-sided, Laura.
Oh my God, it was not reciprocated at all, and it really got very, very unhealthy and very, very toxic by the end of it. But where were we going with that? Oh, staying together for the kids. I don't know really what the transition was. I think my spirituality has a lot to do with it, and the faith that I have in the universe and source and all of those things that kind of I more or less had like a spiritual awakening in a way. And so my whole point of view of life and relationships completely changed, and I was like, no. Like my kids, the tension that my kids feel,
right,
I want my girls and my son, but my girls especially, to see me step into my power as a woman and never, ever, ever settle for less than exactly what I deserve. And when you're begging somebody to give you what you deserve day in and day fucking out, it's like, no, it's okay.
Why am I doing this? Why are we here?
Yes. And the reality is, like, your presence in that person's life could very well be making them stay stuck too. And I think a lot of times we think of this word love. Well, I love this person. Let's break down the idea of what love actually is, because the act of love isn't necessarily always the right thing. It doesn't look like the right thing.
Correct. Me
loving my children's father was allowing him to walk away and be on his journey and step out of the picture. That was me loving him to the fullest degree. You know
what you need to do for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And for him too, to be able to break free from that relationship and do whatever he had to do to figure out who he was and how he can be a better person. And I think we get trapped in the idea, well, I love this person, I have to stay with them. No, loving them really is letting them go sometimes, and it's the most challenging thing in the world.
Not trying to change them, not trying to fix them, not trying to be their therapist.
Yes.
You released him so that he could be a better version of himself.
Fly, bird.
Fly.
Spread your wings. And then it's at that point, it's up to them to do so.
Right.
Whether or not they do.
Not your responsibility, not your problem.
Yes, absolutely.
You have the tools. Go do that.
Yes. But mine are I'm flapping.
You better fly.
This little thing. I could have done that. I could have done that with a little bit more swag. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, we'll pretend I had some swag in there when I did that.
It's just something that you hear all the time. It's like, oh, it didn't work, but because of the kids. Mm-hmm. And then that also falls into, who are you outside of a parent?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of the things that I watch or that I read or that I see. It gets to a point where people are like, I don't know who I am anymore. I've been a mom since I was 16. I've been a mom since I was 20. I've been a mom since I spent my whole 20s being a mom. I don't know who I am.
Yes.
Figure out who you are.
Yes.
Because those kids are going to grow up if they're not already growing up and doing their own thing.
Right.
But you need to figure out what makes you tick, what makes you happy outside of the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sometimes you look at your spouse, your husband or your wife, and you're like, you don't make me tick no more.
Right.
So address it now, not when the kids are 20 and now we're 60 and trying to date.
Yes.
Nip that shit in the bud now.
Right. Yeah. That is so important, and
time waits for no one.
Yeah. Oh my God. For real. That's another thing that, when I was like, all right, I'm going to step into this season of my life, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to figure out. And really, the conversation was, girl, you have the opportunity to create the life of your fucking dreams. I mean, we always do.
We all do. But when you believe it and you realize it, everything changes.
It's so powerful.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a completely fresh start with so much more knowledge. Oh, yeah. So much more wisdom. And oh my God, the power in that is incredible, you know? So I stepped into this season of life, and I'm like, I'm going to do what I want, when I want. I'm going to show my kids that it's important for me. My value is to take care of myself and find time for myself and be with my girlfriends and not have to worry about what my kids are doing over there because I'm going to get a babysitter and go out with a very handsome man. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to show them that it's important to pour into yourself and not just, just all over again, give your power away to just your kids or expectations, you know?
Like, even when I think about my mom when I was in my childhood, I just okay, she was a mom, but she also had friends. I remember her going out with her girlfriends and getting dressed up and watching her get ready. And I love being able to have those memories now, because I'm like, my mom was in her early 30s. She had 2 kids, newly divorced. She was out there getting it. She was like, I am not sitting in the house with a babysitter. I'm out. So I love that I have those memories, because I know that I have friends that have moms that when I think of them, I'm like, they are full on moms. That was their entire world. That was their entire existence. They didn't work. They didn't do whatever. They were moms. And now me and my friends are in our 30s, and those moms are now the grandparents or whatever. They still that's their role. And I feel like there are people that are born to they are nurturers and they do that, and then there's others that they do it because they love it, but now they lost themselves and they're like, well, I don't know what else to do. I've always been a mom. Absolutely. I've always been a nurturer. Where do I find fun things to do?
Yeah,
where do you even begin? Can I date? When do I start dating? And a lot of it, I think, is just society. You're dating? Your child's only 5.
Right.
Or you're doing, mind your fucking business.
Yes.
Yes, I'm dating.
Sit the fuck down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm dating. The kids are well taken care of.
Yes,
I can
absolutely.
do whatever the fuck I want.
My babysitter's great. Thanks, business. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it also is that bullshit ass mom guilt. I mean, that's a bitch. It really is a bitch. And the second that you can start sort of releasing that and really come to that conclusion, I need to do me, for me, by me, to be able to be the best mom I can be for them, it makes a big difference. It really does. But
do you feel like mom guilt comes from yourself? Do you think oh, I could, or is it social media, society?
I think it's both. Okay. Social media does not help. I mean, in general, social media, but when you see these moms that, social media is always our highlight reel. Right. And that's why on social media for myself, I make it a point to share my own trials and tribulations as raw and uncut as I can, so that people see that this shit was not easy. You know what I mean? Or just life in general is not always easy, but social media can really be intense when it comes to the mom guilt, and you really have to do a social media audit and look, like, yes, do these like boho moms with like the floppy hats and like all the macrame all over their house, is that beautiful? Is that goals? You know, they're running around with their kids and all happy and, you know, but you don't see on camera the running list of all the things that they have going on, and the fight that they just had with their they just had with their, you know, partner, or, you know, the fact that she just looked in the mirror and literally called herself the ugliest thing in the world. Like, you don't see those types of things.
Goes on behind the scenes.
Right. You just see like, oh, this is like the perfect mom that spends all her time with her kids and blah blah blah, and, you know, it's you really have to recognize it's a highlight reel.
You could, so that mom could be your goals, and she could be her own goals. Like, I want to look like my TikTok. Like, it looks good for you guys. That's not really my real life. That's my own goal. I'm my own goal at this point, because they wanted to look aesthetically pleasing. But there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about having all that going on. Like, there's no way.
Motherhood is a fucking shit show. It is gross. It is, I mean, like, physically gross. It feels gross inside sometimes.
Unpredictable.
Right. You know, if you want to hit, I was thinking about this on the ride here. If you want to hit enlightenment as fast as fucking possible, get yourself some kids, because they are the ultimate mirrors. I mean, we're mirrors to each other in our relationships, but when it comes to our children, I really do believe it's like the ultimate opportunity to really evolve yourself and expand your consciousness if you allow it to be. It's a very spiritual experience, and these kids hold up this mirror and just show you all of the beautiful parts about yourself, especially through them, when you're like, ooh, that one is a me, that was a me thing. But also the ugliest, most unhealed parts of ourselves. They trigger the fuck out of us. Like, I'm telling you, I love my kids with every fiber of my being, but the way I want to punt them sometimes, I never wanted to fight a bitch so bad. It's just great. They're great.
Like, I will take you the fuck down, okay?
Right, okay? Do you know who the fuck I was? Like, you really must be confused. Like, let me show you.
Like, mommy was about that life.
Okay?
Don't play.
Let's hit the Walmart parking lot. Let's make it on World Star. Like, let's go. Really. But they can be so triggering, but for a reason. Like, that serves a purpose.
Something that you didn't deal with, and now your kid's bringing it out of you.
Yes. So, you know, it really is such a beautiful thing, but it can be very ugly. I mean, the days that I've spent sobbing on the kitchen floor, even holding my kids, like I could well up just thinking about it. Just thinking about the woman that was there, in the pain that she was in, coming out of this divorce, I was cheated on like crazy. I was, you know, and this isn't to say, you know, that my kid's dad is a bad person. He's not. He just is lost and all of those things. But the manipulation that comes with infidelity and cheating, it's bad, man. It's real fucking bad. You know, and just to think about that woman that was sitting on the kitchen floor, just like holding her babies, crying and begging for a better day, like begging for them to just fucking stop whatever they were doing that was making me cry. You know, it's just amazing to think back to her and be like, wow,
like, girl,
how far you come.
Yes, honey.
What are that?
Okay. It's the growth for me.
Yes,
it's the growth for me.
Yes. Wow.
You said something that I'm like, it's probably the real reason why I haven't had children, or probably won't have children. If I have myself, that is a problem. Like, I was a terrible child. I was my mother's trigger. Like,
yeah.
I can still hear it. Like, I'm like, my mom used to tell me when I was little and I would get into shit or do things or get caught. I can't wait till you have a child. You're going to get that payback. And that's probably why I don't have no kids.
Yes, right.
I'm bad as shit.
That's so funny.
I can't deal with I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, my dad used to always say, you won't know what suffering or what love is, or you won't know what worry is. That was it. Oh, yeah. You don't know what worry is until you have kids. I don't want to know. I don't want to know because
I'm being honest, I'm scared. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
And I know that even when I see Vince or Penny, when I see them and they do something, it breaks my heart. Like Vince playing, it breaks my heart because they're so little and innocent and it's all cute. If that was my kid, I don't think I'd stop crying, first of all. And then Ashley the other day, so the flip side of that, she calls me. She's like, do you ever wonder like what you're missing out by not having kids? And I feel like she was setting me up. And I was like, nope, I don't wonder
Today, not today.
ever. And then she told me the story and I was like, nope, don't care. Don't ever want to experience that ever. She's like, I'll send you a video. I was like,
no,
please don't.
It's okay.
I don't want to see it. I'm good as being an aunt. I'm a fabulous titi.
Yes,
and that's all I need. Like, please don't show me anything that I don't want to see.
Yes.
I was on the phone with Jill yesterday. I was like, every time I call her, Disney is on blast in the background. It doesn't matter what time.
Right?
I just hear the Disney like Frozen was going because now I have my niece is 10, she'll be 11, but my youngest is 2, she's gonna be 3, and now she's into her Frozen phase. So my sister's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this shit all over again.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe I'm doing this all over again.
Oh my God.
This morning. So, do you want to try the potty? Nah.
No.
We're not gonna do that today.
Nah, floor looks good to me.
Exactly.
Yep, shit in the kitchen. All right.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. We got nothing else to do.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the times that I do have baby fever, I just call a friend with a child and then they snap me right out of it.
Oh, me girl.
Try to have a conversation with someone while they're with their kid who is needing attention or playing the tablet right next to them while they're on the phone.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm good. I'll call you later.
Right. You sound busy.
Thanks for my daily dose of birth control.
Right. Exactly. Like, you sound busy. I'll call you later.
Right. 18 years later.
Right. Exactly. And my sister was like, I thought I was going to sleep in today. I was like, she's going to be 3. You're never going to sleep in again.
For real.
She's like, she done moved something. She was outside, people watching, like at the window, people watching. I said, okay, well, she's doing what we would normally be doing.
Yeah.
She can't reach the windowsill, so she got to get herself a little stool.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you know, obviously all of the relationships around us are you know, such big mirrors. It's just when you're literally looking at your little self, even when you adopt children, I mean, they become the way that you share this space and the energy and your auras and the DNA that, you know, you're just swapping all day with these people. They become truly a part of yourself and show you all of those things.
Yeah,
so
they're so honest.
What?
They're so honest.
Oh my God.
Like, shh, don't say it.
Oh my God. Mommy, you having another baby? Mommy, your teeth yellow. Dead serious just the other day. Oh, are they? Thanks
for that. Nobody asked you.
You got pitbull, Mommy. You got pip. You pop it? I don't know why I have this little accent on my child. She doesn't sound like that. But
that's how you hear it.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, it's wild.
No, I worked at a school for the last couple months as a school nurse, and I was like, I never thought that I would enjoy it, but I really, really, really enjoyed it, especially that like 3rd grade to like maybe 6th grade, because you just see the difference in them. You see them change, and they are very honest.
Yeah,
and I am a wig wearer, so the kids who come in one day, I got a short black bob, then I transitioned to the blonde, and I'm honest with them.
Yeah.
Oh, Nurse Melly, you. It's a wig, baby. True, I will lift the wig up and everything. But that's why they love me, because I'm honest with them. I'm like, oh, it's a wig. Today, I'm blonde because it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Lift it up. Oh, I won one. I'm like, now all these moms are going to be like, who the fuck is the new nurse at the school?
Why does my 7-year-old want a wig?
I have so much fun with them.
Yeah.
And even at the end of the day, I'm like, because towards that, I was like, do I want to have kids? I was like, no, because I still just enjoy them. And then I enjoy giving them back.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can go to sleep whenever I want. I can wake up whenever I want. I don't have to get anybody ready in the morning. I take long enough. I forget things. I run around this apartment for an hour before I actually leave. To incorporate another human in that, I'm not going outside.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, it is. Oh my gosh.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one of the hardest jobs that you could possibly do, and that's probably why I'll never do it. It's because it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, here, for all the mommies.
Yes.
Like, I will stay a fur mom, dog mom.
There you go.
The kids can come over, play with the dog. They can go back. All is well.
Love it.
Yep. That's
all
it.
is well.
Absolutely.
So, we touched earlier on dating life. So, dating life in the pandemic, and dating life as a parent. Nervous laughter. Where's that track?
I know, right?
Can we ask, are you dating? Is it too soon?
It's not too soon. Definitely not. I'm not dating, but I'm not like dating.
Okay.
You know
Just
what I
kind
mean?
of seeing what's out there.
Yeah, like I'm not like actively searching for anyone or anything, but like I'm not going to close down an opportunity.
Like, nope, not right
You know what I
now.
mean? Yeah.
It's like, if the vibe's there.
Yeah. Like I've dabbled.
dates.
I'm like it's sort of, or like I've like been in the presence of other people, and I don't think I've gone on like an official date yet.
Do you feel like you'd be nervous?
Yeah, I would shit my pants and wings. Yeah, definitely.
How do you date? Like,
I know, right? I don't know. And so I have found out. Here's one thing that I found out. Like stepping into the dating world, or I mean, I don't know if it's legit or not, but I'm a very self-aware person. You know, like I said, all the self-help shit, right? So I'm constantly, within reason, in a healthy way, like analyzing myself, and especially coming out of a very toxic relationship. I don't know what parts were me, what parts I was the problem in, or I needed to adjust, and what parts were manipulation and distraction from a whole extra life that was happening and different shit like that. So, there's certain things that I know I needed to take with a grain of salt, other things that I know that I need to, if I want to have healthy relationships in the future, really, work on. And so one of the things, this is just me, and I don't know if this is something I'm very interested in changing. Like, the first time, like, I hung out with a guy or whatever, I was like, okay, so, what's your toxic trait? Like, really, you want to talk about some childhood trauma?
Let's talk
like,
about it.
I know. I'm like, oh, okay, so, of all of your exes, like, what would they say is one thing that you really need to work on? Like, I'm like just out at the mouth.
You get to the point.
Yes, like really trying to like take a deep dive into this motherfucker's psyche. You know what I mean? Like, and not everybody is really
receptive or
and
that's fine because you weed out the weak ones.
Yes,
they're not ready for those kinds of conversations.
Exactly.
Next.
Oh, you can't identify your childhood trauma? Okay, I can't. I don't have time for this.
Don't circle back.
Right.
Next.
Right. I mean, and it's a hard thing too, because it's like, okay, well, realistically, we have all the time in the world to get there. We wanna slowly get to know each other. We want to get to know each other through experiences, not word vomit. You know what I mean? Which I am very good at that word vomit. And so I get that, and I get everybody's different, and we can't just go for people that we like their responses to all the time or something like that. I get that, but at the same time,
blowing smoke up your ass, giving you all the right answers.
Right?
So.
Exactly. But I'm also, and never will be, just a small talk kind of person. Like and that's why I feel like I make friends, like real, especially sisterhood, very quickly and easily, because I want to know your soul. I want to know your heart. I want to know what makes you human and what makes you cry and what makes you laugh, and how can I support those things about you and all of that kind of shit. So yeah, it's weird for me in the energy that I bring to the first time hanging out or the first date or whatever.
Yeah. So Roy calls it unprogramming. I move in a certain way, I think a certain way because of the relationship that I was in.
Yes.
So an example would be if I'm trying to decide, is it me or is it what he made me think of me?
Right.
So I'm a talker. I could be a lot. So if I'm talking to somebody for the first time, I may hold back, and it's just a voice in my head like, am I doing too much?
Right.
Or do I feel like I'm doing too much because somebody used to tell me you're doing too much?
Yes.
So now it's like, am I in my own head or is it that motherfucker's voice in my head?
Yes.
I don't know. Now I don't even know what this motherfucker just said because I'm having a whole conversation.
Right. Yes.
But it's that whole, is this something that I need to work on, or was this something that person didn't like and made me feel like I need to work on it?
Yes,
absolutely. You still got to figure that. And it's one thing that I always remember is that you're never too much for the right person.
Right. So exactly.
Fuck it, don't hold back. Give them all you got.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. I completely agree. Like whatever makes you feel joy, whatever makes you feel at peace in any sort of situation, just fucking do it.
Right.
And what makes me feel at peace is giving people the space, not just giving, creating a space and a platform for another human being to just lay their shit out there, because we need that. We need that in this world, you know? Like,
feel free to say however you feel and know that I'm going to receive it and not feel like you sensitive about it, or maybe you should. Go ahead, tell me how you feel. Let that shit out. It's okay.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, that's kind of been like a... You know, and like, of course, I want to be careful with my kids. Like, you know, I want to make sure that they always stay the priority, and they will. That's never going to falter. But it's also, you know, challenging in when it comes to, you know, dating when you're a single mom. You're like, I have 3 kids. And like right off the top, there's a little bit of like seriousness that comes with the approach of a situation, even like when it's supposed to be at its lightest. It's like, okay, like, so we're hanging out or we're going on a date, and yeah, that's all it can be, but I got 3 responsibilities at home. And if you ever see this going anywhere, like, that's some you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like there's a little bit of like a more serious tone to that anyway, which is kind of challenging to navigate too.
I feel like if men would be honest, that would be helpful. So, like, what
is there a button for that?
Honest button?
I don't know. Like, let's just do the scary one, because really, here's the deal. So in that same situation, when I was telling you I was like word vomiting, I felt like kind of lost, and I like in any sort of conversations I've had with a fella, you know, up until this point, it's like not that we have to have intentions to get married tomorrow, but it is in the best interest of a man to tell a woman straight off the bat, look, I want to keep things as casual as possible. Look, I think you are so fucking hot, and I really just want to go to town with you. Like, whatever it is, because you know, you don't know if, you know, you're trying to like navigate through to see if you like permanently want to be with someone. But if you are in a space in your life where you know that you would be interested in a relationship with a person in general, fucking say that. If you are not, say it louder.
I just want to have fun. Say that.
Say it fucking louder. Okay?
We're grown.
Yes.
Because then, sorry, I didn't.
No, yeah, you're good.
Because then, if you give, let's just say a man and a woman, the man gives the woman the misconception that I want this to go further, and then just because you want to get what you want to get, whatever that is, and then you get mad at the woman when she continues to be like, well, we're taking this further.
Like her boyfriend the whole time, sir.
So now, but she's crazy.
She's crazy.
And so the other thing is, so we're coming full circle to what you were talking about earlier, the hoe phase. Okay, listen. When I was about to get a divorce, all my girlfriends were like, "You better get out there and for a day or two, I was like, yes. But I was humbled and grounded by myself. Listen, being a hoe, fucking do it loud and proud. Do it loud and proud. But I am not a casual sex person.
I'm not.
I'm not. My feelings get caught the fuck up. That's it. If I am allowed...
One night what? No, motherfucker, you live here now.
Yes, right? Yes, I actually bought you a toothbrush on the way home at the Rite Aid. I hope you don't mind.
What's your social I need for our checking account to be joined?
Yes, exactly. I think it made me fed. Like, let's do it, you know? For real, but you know, I just never have been. Like I now am in a season of life where I really do want to embrace my sensuality more and all of those things, because I feel like I didn't have that for so long. But I'm not interested in doing that with multiple people at any given time. And there literally is nothing wrong with if you want to do that. But I think as women and in our feminine energy, so, you know, I think that we are just not necessarily designed that way sometimes. And if we have to be very careful with that, you know? And so I want to tell any man straight off the bat, if you are interested in me, I will never just have sex with you just for fun. Okay?
It's not gonna happen.
It's just not, it can't, because my feelings can get real hard.
The feelings get feels.
You know what I mean? They do, you know?
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. In real life, I'm a prude. I'm not having a one night stand. I don't do those types of things. I am a lady. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you know, it's challenging, and I think men just need to be more honest And that's how we can sort of start to shift and change the trajectory, take our power back as women, but also help to adjust this sort of toxic masculinity. Like, you know, we talk about men and being in touch with their emotions and being more upfront and communicative. That doesn't mean you need to be crying on my shoulder every night. If you need to, that's fine. That's fine. I got you, baby. I got you. I'm here for you.
Because now you're definitely in the bro zone.
Yeah, right, for real.
You and your tears.
But just to communicate those little things makes a huge difference, so that we're not hurting each other and getting caught up in any sort of toxicity and things like that. I think it's so important. Like, it would really help them out.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think on the flip, the woman needs to be honest too, because if he's telling you like, look, I'm just trying to like have fun and be casual, and she's like, yeah, me too, but you don't really feel that way.
Right.
Don't say
you're like,
that.
I'm going to get in there and I'm going to change him.
Yeah.
No, no, you're not.
The
You're
pussy
not.
power will make it, will suddenly make him fall in love with me.
It's not.
And they're not wired that way.
Yeah.
They're not wired that way. For most men, sex does not come with this emotional, hold. And for us, it is a much more
it's sex,
emotional.
it's love, it's marriage, it's all the things.
Yes.
It's all the things that we create.
Right. And even in when it comes to like that sexual dynamic, we can wear so many hats in the bedroom, you know what I mean? But it's the bigger picture of it just can't be just this sometimes. And I think we can go through our seasons of that, but I don't think I'll ever genuinely have a season of that, because I just...
In my mind, I was like, I'm gonna hit the streets.
Yes.
Nope. Not at all.
Yes.
I couldn't. I tried to do the whole dating app. I think I was on Tinder for a good 18 hours.
God.
18 hours.
Is it not overwhelming as hell?
It was terrible.
Oh my God.
Anybody that I had a conversation with, and I was honest, like, oh, hey, what are you doing on here? Well, I just got out of a 14-year relationship, so I was just seeing. I got ghosted so many times on Tinder. Yeah. I guess they were like, this bitch, she going right back to that bed. 14 years, I'm not messing with that. It just the shit that people said to me, I was like, yeah, deactivate.
Right.
Like, deactivate the next day. Like, I can't. This is not for me. It's nothing. Cyanide in the dating pool. It wasn't for me.
I literally, same thing. I was on a dating app for maybe, I think it was Bumble, for maybe 18 hours. Same. And I was like, first off, it's overwhelming because all of these men, they didn't look at you. They didn't read your profile.
No.
They just swiped. I don't know if it's right or left. I don't even remember.
Whatever it is.
They just swiped just to fucking swipe because for whatever reason, you're having these conversations that honestly feel like duds because, again, the small talk shit, I don't fucking want that.
How many times did you say this? How many times did you ask this question?
And the copy and paste, like how many women did you ask this to and whatever. And even outside of dating apps, like just, dating people that you know and different things like that, like that's in my head too.
Oh,
I'm like, you copy and pasted that text message.
Don't fucking good morning beautiful me. Take me out of your rotation. How many good morning beautifuls do you send?
Yes.
Please take me out of your rotation.
Seriously.
You get the same thing around the same time. It's like, do you have an app that just shoots out fucking text messages? There probably is.
Oh,
there may be.
Good morning beautiful text app.
Yeah.
Good night queen.
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone, sir.
Right.
I'm doing my night routine, please.
Right.
Yes.
I'm doing my self-care mask. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy out there.
But definitely being honest when you first start dating with somebody. Like, I know that I don't want to have kids. I know that maybe eventually one day, once upon a time, I don't know, a unicorn might come down, something might change. But I wasn't looking for men that wanted to like get married and have babies. Yeah. Because I don't want to give you babies. If you want to get married, sure, we can get married. Yeah. I don't want to give you babies. So it's not going to work. So I was honest about that. And I feel like some men were like, oh, damn, well, okay. And they were like, all right, cool, with it. Because now I know I'm not going to get like no baby mama out of this. And
or I already have 3 baby mamas out of this.
Right, it's like, cool, we're good. Well, that's a whole nother fucking topic.
Oh, my God. I know. Don't I know it?
Part 2.
Yes.
Baby mamas.
Oh, my gosh. I am one.
And you can speak from your end.
Yes.
And what you would like to see as a mom of 3 children. What type of woman would you like to see your ex date?
Honestly, someone on my caliber, for real. To be honest, I don't think he's in this space.
Don't downgrade your life, sir.
Right, for real. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if you're gonna find better. So, no, I'm just no, I think we all, have our strengths and all those things as women. So, but I think that's another thing. So when it comes to co-parenting, and your co-parent dating and all of those things, like he and I really do have, our priorities are to have a healthy relationship, to parent our children. And in my mind, any woman that he ends up with, you know, within reason, it's up to him, whoever he chooses. If that woman wants to love my children, by all fucking means, please love the man that is the father of my children. Please love my children and be an extra wonderful, beautiful, strong woman in my child's life.
Be part of the village.
Yes, exactly. You know, like there's not enough love in this world sometimes to want to reject that. So I never will feel jealous. I mean, there might be like twinses of like, oh, my kids are spending time with that person, I'd rather them be with me, or if they accidentally called their mom or something like that, like, yeah, that's what feels
there's
weird.
always gonna be something.
Yeah, but like realistically, like I embrace it wholeheartedly, and I think that's a big thing in co-parenting relationships. If you can change the mindset of that and really embrace whoever, you know, you don't have to be best friends, but embrace the fact that yes, the family in the village is just growing and it's expanding in a beautiful way, and they get to build relationships and have experiences with these people, learn what they do and don't want, learn who they do and don't want to be as
other
they
family
grow older.
dynamics. Like, why wouldn't you, like, it's just like you just get to expand that, like you just said, like they get to see mom and dad. Oh, there's another person. Well, how does their family work? And okay, there's a little difference. Like they're learning. They're learning all of these things. Like it can be a beautiful thing.
It really can.
If you have an open mind.
Can. Yes, absolutely. And that does have to be two-sided. But you can only control yourself. You know what I mean? You can only control your own actions and thoughts and feelings. So, but I think that's really important in a co-parenting relationship if you really want it to work and be this beautiful family dynamic. You know?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna get another dog though.
I love it.
I'll work on the first one.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's a wrap on this episode.
Yes.
I think that was very powerful. I think those are things that people need to hear.
When can we have her back?
Yes.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, I would love that.
I'm excited. I feel like we can be doing some things.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to leave off with? Or are we good? Now I have an accent.
I know. No, I'm just so grateful to be here and to share, you know, my heart and my message, and you guys are just so incredible
on this child-free podcast.
Yes,
children.
Yes,
it's not that we don't like the children.
Yes,
we're just scared of the job. That's
I don't like them sometimes. So you know, if you didn't, no shame.
And that is a wrap on this episode.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.